Nigerian lawmakers are concerned about the government's failure to support local manufacturing of syringes and needles instead of relying on imports. Well, the Minister of Trade and Industry is now being called to appear before the Senate. Arise News political editor Somna Sambo reports.
At this investigative hearing on Nigeria's preference for importation of syringes and needles instead of providing support for local manufacturers, senators are shocked to hear how companies are struggling to weather the storm with little or no government support and improper regulations.
Why are federal-owned hospitals, medical centers, teaching hospitals, MPCDA that uses syringe and needle, why are they not using local manufactured syringe and needle?
Local manufacturers lament that Nigeria is being shortchanged with poor needles and syringes dumped into the country, especially from Asian countries like China and India.
The demand for syringes in Nigeria is about from 2 billion to 2.5 billion a year. Now, right now, with all the 7 manufacturers, we're doing about 1.95 billion a year. Which means, look, if we have the support of the government and everything else, as far as this backward integration, they will scale up and they'll be able to produce in a matter of months. Our syringes are world-class syringes. And also, apart from that, we also just got endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. So our quality is non-questionable at all.
It is already established that we can manufacture and we have capacity to manufacture good quality syringes and needles.
The lawmakers question public officials on why a 5-year government policy to provide more local content for production of basic medical devices in Nigeria remains on the drawing board.
We have agents like laboratories in China and India, which are the major exporters of these products. So before products coming from those countries, there must be clean report of inspection and analysis.
You cannot keep licensing agents from outside and disregarding local industries. How can we as a nation be importing syringe? It's a shame.
We should have a timeline within which we say no importation of syringe and needle. Madam, we are licensing factories, we are licensing labs in China and India for them to. That's why our dollar is getting worse and worse and worse every day.
Unsettled by the revelations, the Senate Committee on Health is now inviting the Minister of Trade and Investment and the Director General of Nigeria's Health Regulatory Agency, NAFDAC, to appear before it on April 15th to explain the policy inconsistencies. Somna Sambo, Arise News.
Okay, let's get more on this with Sam Ohuabunwa, the president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. Great to have you on NEWSNIGHT tonight, sir. So first, let's ask you this question. You've heard the report, you've seen what is being said. Does it shock you when you hear what is already known fact being stated by members of the National Assembly with regards us encouraging foreigners to bring in syringes into Nigeria rather than empowering the industry here?
Thank you very much. Good evening, Nigerians. This would ordinarily have shocked me if I have not lived in Nigeria for a long time. Those of us who have lived here for a long time have become numbed. We're not shocked by anything. So the story of locally made syringes and needles, the story of all the industries, the pharmaceutical products, is it other produce from the local manufacturer. We have a very terrible situation where we encourage people to set up local companies and then we turn around to go and patronize foreign products. Not just individuals, but even the governments of our country over a long time. They promote backward integration. When you go backward to integrate, they move forward and leave you behind. Many businessmen have gone to early death. Many companies have died just because they believed government, and then eventually government didn't keep to their agreed policies. So it should be a shocking thing that we're producing, we're buying foreign syringes and needles, just as we are buying foreign toys. I don't know if we have stopped importing what do you call it, all kinds of little things we could make here. I just wish that we get to a position where we will understand that if we need to deal with the issue of the crisis we have in job creation, poverty, we need to get people working.
Yes, Mazi Ohuabunwa, in spite of the fact that there's a 75% duty on syringes and needles, can you help us understand really how come this syringes and needles, most of the time, even fake and on sterile and what have you, syringes make their way into the Nigerian economy? What impact really is this having on Nigeria's healthcare, of course, Nigeria healthcare sector and the economy as a whole?
Well, like I said, we have passed beyond getting shocked in the country, because if our country cannot prevent people crossing the border, carrying rifles and coming to murder Nigerians, if we cannot protect visible goods, rice and beans crossing the border from where they shouldn't come, is it surprising that we can't protect our borders from foreign syringes? You know, most of these things just pass through the borders, and we know why. It is because of the high level of corruption, and therefore people can smuggle anything. That's why if you ban anything in this country, you just create a new class of businessmen. That's what they want to do. Some people are waiting for government to ban something. Then their season comes. We are unable to enforce our rules. We're unable to enforce law and order. We cannot maintain our policies that we espouse. So it is injurious to Nigeria. It's injurious to the healthcare, because if you use syringes and
so
needles,
how important would you say then that it has become to regulate Nigeria's manufacture, importation, and use of syringes? How important is it for us to do that now?
It is important, and there's a regulation. You're not allowed to bring syringes into the country anyhow. You must pass through NAFDAC certification and verification. But I'm telling you, just in case you live somewhere, that things get into this country, including human beings who cross our borders with rifles and all sorts of equipment. I mean, everybody's blaming our high level of security to people coming from outside the country. How do they get past? How do they carry weapons? So if we can't stop such human beings, how are you going to stop products? So I think it's a failure of our ability to appropriately man our borders. The regulatory agencies will stop them if they found them, but they may not find them because they may not pass through the right routes, or they go underground. Yes, right. So that's the shame of what goes on in our country. It's been all for several years, not today. It didn't start yesterday.
All right, thank you so much, Mazi Sam Ohuabunwa, for joining us on Newsnight.